Hello and welcome to Deep Shit. I'm Xander the Blue and I'm joined by Draggor.
You almost said you were Xander the Blue and Draggor.
I mean, yeah, we're both a little thinking. We have our thinking caps on tonight.
Oh, Jesus.
What?
That's what we're calling it now?
Yeah, that's baby. Yeah, we're getting
We
deep
have our
with
thinking
it.
caps on. Wink.
We're here to pretend we know things.
Hey, I'm already short and I can drink again, so I can
There
be
you
short
go.
and know things and drink.
I love waxing philosophical, especially when you're kind of in a different headspace, if you will. That's my favorite. Actually, me and Miko had some great conversations that have nothing to do with this week's, who am I kidding? This, whatever, few months' topic, whatever, how. We should do these more often.
Yeah, you're right.
Because we actually talked about some cool shit in there, too. And hopefully I'll remember it for next time.
We will.
Okay, this time I want to talk about the grind.
The grind?
Yeah, baby. Yeah, not weed. I'm sorry, not beer. But instead, just the day-to-day.
The daily grind.
The daily grind. So, like, the way society is to, like, okay, I'll use myself as an example. Like, I wanted to be an artist, whatever. And you learn to express yourself and stuff like that. But you are still, your career, most like 95%. It's very hard to actually have a career in the arts. As I would say 95% of the art jobs are for big companies and corporations and shit like that.
Yeah.
Well, you'd agree with me, right?
Oh, yeah.
So my whole point is you end up with the boring, not expressing yourself job anyway. So
yeah.
So I have experienced the day-to-day. I am chained to a gray desk and in this room with people that I don't necessarily. I understand the. I'm trying to say I'm like one of you.
One of us. Dude, you've worked at one of the top, highest art and tech employers in Chicago, okay?
Wait, you talking about WMS?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You know how many people at DePaul end up saying they worked at WMS? A lot of them.
Yeah, that's kind of sad and a perfect example because that's fucking gambling.
Ooh, yeah, it's not fun in that regard.
No. Actually, that's one of the topics that came up with Miko. I was saying how we have so much in our society. We have so many bases covered of the basics. So to make the economy work, we have all these bullshit jobs to fill, not necessarily open holes in our lives. Do you understand what I'm saying?
The grand theory that never came true was as science and tech advanced,
right,
and productivity increased, returns to the worker would also increase.
Yes.
They haven't.
Instead, now that we have more bases covered, we need more bullshit jobs that aren't necessary.
You know, I've been on this kick for a little while, especially since watching Discovery. Why can't we have Star Trek?
Because, no. Actually, it's funny.
Their daily grind is, gosh, I have too many ways to express myself constructively.
Right.
Can I have that problem, please?
That'd be amazing. Yeah. That's a good problem to have.
I would like to have choice paralysis, all of which have good outcomes.
Well,
and won't go away even though I'm paralyzed by choice. They will still be there for me.
Well, another thing I want to mention is, like, especially in American culture, you were brought up to, how am I say, just find the job that will make you the most money. That's very pushed toward, you know, how can you use your talents so you can
Success
make the most money
by the money.
Right.
Yes.
That's kind of what you're told as you're growing up, right? You want to get a job that makes you the most money. What they don't.
I mean, I grew up with an unironic phrase said in my household: "He who has the most toys wins."
Yeah, absolutely.
Granted, the original says "He who has the most toys at the end wins," or when you're dead, or what have you. And
yeah.
I agree with the flip side of the sentiment. Well, you're dead.
Exactly.
So I've always kind of rejected it. I just didn't know I was rejecting it.
Right.
And to be forced into it anyway.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You still came back to it. You still relate to sacrificing that piece of your soul that you thought you were keeping. But you were wrong.
Well, and I guess for anyone who doesn't know as much about us, more recently for you than me, but both of us under a year, quite literally back to the grind of experimenting with some responsibility, freedom.
Yeah, exactly. I had, 6 months of unemployment or whatever it was? I mean, a lot of that. I was
doing the contracting thing for myself for a couple of years.
Yeah. And honestly, no, there's the anxiety of trying to find a job and, like, how to spend your time in that way. But it was still exciting to think I have time to try to generate some kind of revenue for myself, and I actually have an excuse.
Right?
Yeah. Like, can I make money just based on something I enjoy? Like, I don't think that's pushed, like, I just don't think that's pushed enough in our society in general.
No, and we don't even have support structures for it. In part because of all of the other people that are participating in the grind.
Yeah. I think it's becoming more acceptable to look for jobs that you more so enjoy rather than, like, that's actually that idea is becoming more popular, I think, which makes me happy. I feel
like you're hearing more of the you can do whatever you want, but have a sellable skill.
Yeah, even that, you can do whatever you want. It's still, there was nothing in there mentioning do what makes you happy, don't do what makes you the most money.
Yeah.
And we were having a conversation about this earlier, actually. I didn't truly know what I would enjoy to do until later in life, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I feel perpetually behind in many aspects.
Yeah.
And kind of following if I were to look back on all the various interests I had growing up, of course, computers was an option.
Right.
But I had it more than that. I had it more internalized that, well, of course I'm going to get a job in computers.
Right.
There was never even the entertaining of anything else because it was just ingrained in me so early. Like, I was just steered toward a desk job. I'm not complaining about liking programming. I very much enjoy it.
Sure.
But
it is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah, what if I could have pursued other things more and still been able to support myself? What if I didn't have to worry about supporting myself?
Right, exactly.
And that kind of gets into a different episode of what we will want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But as it was laid out, I very much was it wasn't, oh my gosh, am I going to go to college or not? It's, well, which of these good computer science schools are you going to pick before I even had submitted my first application?
Right.
It was, all right, I'm there, and now it's, I don't like the CS degree here. I'm going to go do a CS degree somewhere else. Like, it was all very, very, very focused.
Right.
And it wasn't until furries really, really, really took hold that I started questioning a lot of that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so you...
Remember when you first met me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, think of those first 4 years and how different they are from everything after college.
Oh, absolutely. Are you kidding me? I wanted to go relate it to my career as well. Like, I excelled in just art and painting and bullshit like that. And the reason I steered toward animation when I made that decision, that's where I thought the money was and that I could do something I enjoy. Basically, it seemed like the most viable way to make a living doing art.
Yeah.
That was my weird decision I made when I was a fucking senior in high school.
I would honest to goodness love to be able to do another couple years run of school and trying stuff out without having to worry about the long-term effects of it.
Yeah. And my whole point of bringing this up is I didn't know what the work would be as far as the culture and the nature of my work. I didn't realize that I would not enjoy sitting down at a desk for 8 hours doing animation. Like, I still enjoy things about it, but the whole that lifestyle of doing that specific job, because it's so antisocial, actually has affected me over the years. And it's unfortunately, it is what it is. I will live. That said, I'd rather be doing other things.
I'm kind of that way in that if I have passion projects for coding, I will gladly do it.
Right.
You know, I'm going through all of doing my coding course in high school, doing my coding courses in college. I'm every step of the way. It's, as you always learn more, there's always obviously so much more to the field and more to learn.
Right.
And even the first job you get to, even as it's starting to shatter the reality of you're really not going to be writing interesting code ever, you're still kind of like, okay, but you're on the job. You're learning the tools. You're learning how the professionals do it. There's an angle. You get to be the young hotshot that can show up all the old geezers.
Oh, man.
That's still kind of fun.
I just realized I'm not even addressing a huge component of this. We should address the 8-hour, 40-hour work week.
Oh, you know how I was talking about the productivity increased, but the workers didn't reap any of the benefits?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
This is the longest commute I have ever had in my life.
Oh, my God, really?
Well, because of the additional construction.
Oh,
so it's been routinely a little over an hour to get in the morning every day.
Yeah.
And if I'm lucky, if I've stayed late, I can get home in 35 minutes, but otherwise it's 45, 55, sometimes more.
Yeah. That's terrible.
So I've been really pushing harder on working remote more, which
absolutely.
is so much better for
That's
my
how
sanity.
it should be, but I don't know if it's actually taken off.
I don't have to be around. I don't have to pretend. Like, even before I figured out a lot of how I would like to be through furry, even before all of that, when I would call myself way more guarded, I just had to put on the human suit.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, sure.
I didn't. My boss at my first big job, like, yeah, he knew how to program, but he was a high school jock. The mentality was there. I got out of college, got a job, and essentially got bullied by my boss.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It is funny how you don't know what the job's going to be like until you have it. That's unfortunately I don't know. I guess there's some warnings out there of what to expect. I don't know.
I feel like I've gotten decent at being able to tell what the personalities like. I've got certain questions I'll craft just to see how people respond, and it's having gone through nightmare scenarios and learned the hard way to ask about those things.
Right.
So I knew what I was walking into for the most part when I took this role, and I overall am happy with it.
Oh, okay.
Although anyone following Twitter, there's a lot of outstanding issues still, so we'll see. But the work in people itself, it arguably is the best group of people I've worked with.
Oh.
It's in a platform I like. The only real downside is almost nothing of what we do is interesting or challenging to me in any way, shape, or form.
Gotcha.
And it's hard. Like, I feel so bad sometimes. Like, it's a silver platter fucking job. There are so many people that could do what I do there.
I see what you're saying.
And I have it, and I don't even want it.
Right. So you have that
resent
thing.
being there.
Right. And you're realizing Oh, was it just because
I have the dream of what they all told me about. I got the
Right.
golden ticket.
and you found out
Why?
it's not great.
Why is this not
The
working for me?
the factory is full of shit. You got the golden ticket, and the factory is full of shit. I think that's a perfect metaphor for this fucking what we were just describing. Welcome to Willy Wonka's shit factory. Congratulations.
There is a legitimate part of me that every day I go into that office, asks the question, like, am I too weak to get the hell out of here? And every time I walk through the door, it's like I'm losing.
Oh boy.
And it's a great job. It really is. I fully understand what benefits it provides. It's just, it's not fulfilling.
No, I get you. It's a shame because like, no, I know what you're saying. You lock down when we've talked about that plenty of times. The base of your job is what I'm doing useful.
And there's a little bit of that.
Sure,
that I do get at this one.
I
work in obituaries, and we're doing some stuff around that would effectively make digging into family history stuff easier.
Right. You provide
So
a
at a base
service
level,
of this thing. Yeah, absolutely.
And it's something I also would like to use.
Right.
So I've never, other than some internal tools, I've never had that sensation at a job before.
Okay.
It's actually one of the few driving factors of why I have not really looked to leave. I don't know about how you feel about the slot machine stuff, but I feel like my job history has been each successive job trying to commit less and less and less evil into the world.
Right? That's so true. Even when I was at video game jobs, like there were even those cash-in terrible fucking games that make sense on paper and weren't great. But you know what? They made a profit somehow for long enough until they fucking collapsed under the weight of being shitty for so long. But anyway, that's high voltage.
Well, I worked at the Mercantile Exchange.
Yeah.
I worked on the futures and options trading system. I directly contributed to making algorithmic traders go faster.
Yeah.
I directly contributed to making the world a worse place.
That's crazy. I forgot you used to do that.
I worked there while Alkali was at his last place. I was there when that went down.
Yeah. Fuck, man.
It was fascinating.
That is fascinating. Fuck.
And then I went from gambling with world economies to gambling with family savings.
There you go. Perfect.
And my job, specifically at that company, my job was to adapt existing games into lottery ticket style or bingo games.
Oh,
so they
that was
could
your whole
run them
job?
doing those math models.
Oh, wow.
The actual technical merits of solving that was interesting, but everything else around it was just not fulfilling and evil. We were trying to get into markets where people, there were harsher laws against gambling passed.
So it's converting it into a lottery ticket game because they have laws against a certain thing, so that was kind of the go around?
Yes.
Okay. Fucking weird, man. I don't know about those. Huh. All right. So I see what you're saying.
And then I went to the Sun-Times, where I directly contributed to reducing less actual story and reporting and copy to clickbait headlines and BuzzFeed style shit.
That's amazing.
So
Holy
my
shit.
3 jobs in a row was ruining economies, ruining family savings, and participating in the downfall of news media.
Oh, fuck. It all comes back to capitalism, doesn't it? God damn it, every time. It's like it's like the bad guy who comes back. I have a feeling this is gonna be like, it's always fucking Splint or fucking Shredder. Got like a lot of the time. It's fucking Capitalism.
All right, wait. All right, so I got a question for you.
All right, sure.
It's two questions. I'm gonna start with a little story.
Right.
So,
did I explain that enough?
What?
It all comes back
the Shredder and.
No, it all comes back to capitalism because we all need to have bullshit jobs just so we're churning, just so we're making money to feed the stupid system. That's all. All right, that's all. Say what you want to say.
No, but that's the frustrating part is we could keep everything as is, but individuals could have more free time. Like almost everything could be the same.
100% agree. Like we need to. My personal belief is that capitalism is still unfortunately needed because the human nature's whole thing of here, I want to make this thing and sell it to people or something like that, unfortunately. Like, that's always going to be a thing, no matter what. I have goods, I made a thing.
The internet has already started changing it.
Oh, yeah?
And it's my overall, I say my theory, but...
You think so? You think
I think it's obvious. Here, it's going from... The internet's the template for it, because there's no money other than through advertising, and a lot of this stuff never gave a shit about advertising to begin with.
Yeah,
You're
okay.
Going from the worldwide phenomenon, the worldwide star, to the community star. Furry is a perfect example of this.
Okay.
One of the big differences between the furry fandom and, say, anime cons is a lot of the celebrity in anime cons is external. It comes from these existing manga writers, these existing TV and movie studios.
Okay.
In furry, it's all us. Like, the fandom and people have been gathering around, and then as more people got into it, some just kind of elevated. They did more, they clicked more with people, and within the fandom, we promoted ourselves. It's why you have Uncle Kage, who can be a special guest at many cons, and also just show up as an attendee at a local con too.
Right. And
just be there and do his thing.
Sure.
And the furry fandom's kind of a template for it. You're starting people being able to just straight up survive on furry fandom stuff alone.
Right. No, yeah, it is its own microcosm economy.
And music is kind of getting the same way. The big thing that Napster blew out is that because of the internet, you have literally the entire world to potentially hear your shit. So now it's a question of subculture and community and trying to get into an audience that's going to be cool with what you do.
Right.
It's not about, converting people to what you do, although you can do that. It's more of, there's so many people out there.
Yeah.
You're going to find some people you gel with. You just got to find the ones that respond.
Yeah. I just realized, so remember how I was talking about the cool garage conversation I had with Miko?
Yes.
It's all related to this. Because, as I was saying, the whole 8-hour-a-day thing, fuck, I lost it. God damn it. You talk, because I lost it. God damn it. It's gone now.
All right, to my question, here's a little story. I went to the Jon Stewart, Stephen Colbert rally to restore sanity and or fear. I dressed as Spider-Man and held a sign that said, "I'm afraid of spiders." It was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember that.
I was hanging out with some friends out there, and we were just casually blabbing away. And at one point, this dude just looks at me and he goes, "So when did you become radical?" And it broke my brain because I'm sitting there going, well, I know I'm like left-leaning, but I would never have described myself as radical.
Radical. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I was like, you don't mean in the 80s way, do you?
No.
I'm radical.
I apparently tipped off this kid's radar of like, I'm a radical liberal. Grab him kicking and screaming into the 21st century.
Yeah. Oh,
and
boy.
It made me... So that was a genesis of a thought, and then one I've had lately, which gets into the question, is I never thought I would be the holy fuck down with capitalism person.
Right.
Here I am.
Right. No, I hear you. I always think
so when did you realize that about you and capitalism? Maybe you always had it. And then the actual question I want to ask is, when did you fully realize? Like, not the inklings or whatever.
Fully?
When did you fully realize the American dream, the grind,
if you will.
When did you realize it for what it was?
Fuck, I don't know, man. Pretty early. Well, I mean, I don't know. I kind of knew it was coming, so maybe it was a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because, like, at least here's the thing. So you grow up, and at least in school, I mean, sure, you go to a school, but it's still more varied in the things you're doing. When you grow up and you become whatever the fuck you end up doing, that's what you do. You do that one thing. It's so much different than the first 18 to 22 years of your life. Isn't that kind of fucking crazy?
Yeah, you have to make this critical life-changing decision when
you decide,
your brain isn't done chemically settling. Your brain isn't settled until about 25.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's a range, but in general...
I believe that. No, I totally fucking believe that. Absolutely. I mean, how often have we said, like, when you're 22 or 20, or around the 20 to 25 age, actually, let's just say every 10 years. When I look back to how I felt then and how I feel now, I feel a lot different than I do back the fuck then.
Maybe this is meta and maybe other things are at play, but
okay,
my window's even shorter. I would say like even 3 to 5 years.
Okay,
is such a big enough difference to me that anything farther back of that 3 to 5 year window.
Okay.
I remember, I can recall things, but for the most part, it feels like it didn't even happen to me.
Holy fuck.
It felt like it happened to someone else.
Wow. Oh, man, that's crazy. Are you saying your personality has changed that much as far as, like, well, not base, but, like, how you feel about a lot of fucking things?
Yes, what I would describe as me, the person, is just... I mean, and there's obvious traits, you know, I'm still obnoxious, I still giggle at farts, I still have anger and rage issues and what have you.
No, there's that base person you will always be, no matter fucking what.
Yeah, well...
For the most part, I think.
For some aspects, I hope not.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I am a different person. Me, from even 2 years ago, would be getting... critically bad performance reviews at this job right now.
Oh, boy.
Me, fresh out of college, would probably be okay with it, but would have way more... I would have thrown so many fits and little tantrums over dumb older developers doing the obvious wrong thing. It's so frustrating. Like, yeah, I get it. I know I'm 22, but I know more than you, so please just... listen to me on how this works.
Oh, that sounds bad.
That's been a lot of my career, where I'm the youngest person that would come into a team.
Okay.
I never drank, I never partied in college. I basically just coded. I immersed myself in tons of complex shit in my free
you did
time
that too?
For fun.
I'm sorry.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, I kind of did that too. Because, like, I was commuting.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I didn't get laid until I'd already graduated.
Hey, I'm in that club too. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because, like, did you commute from home to college? Or no, you were at DePaul. So you kind of had, but you said you were basically coding your ass off.
That or games or hanging out, but, like, I didn't also waste... I wasn't also chasing after ass or dick.
No, that's fair.
Or, doing the parties and things until really the tail end, like those first solid 3 years.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
My freshman year, I was in classes with people that were graduating. Like, that's how far into it I went.
By the way, I finally remembered the part that was related to earlier, and I'm so happy. So the part I was talking about earlier is related to this conversation. We always come back to the grind and, well, the 40-hour work week and how little time that has for people to relax and why all of the U.S. is fucking sleep deprived. I mean, I know it's worse in other countries, but we have a work ethic and a culture where I would say an average most people don't get enough sleep. Wouldn't
Oh,
you agree with that?
definitely not.
Yeah, and that's totally related to work hours as well. I would think. Don't you think?
It's work hours, it's commute, because where jobs are compared to cost of living is
Right.
directly contributing to that, unless you can or are willing to make that financial sacrifice.
Right. I have a point to all this. My point is that that's what's leading to our social lives being more separated. That's like this, like very much explored in Mr. Robot and stuff like that. And because there's that social brokenness, entertainment seems to be even more of an important thing as time has gone on. You know what I'm saying? It's filling a hole, so it seems to be more of it, or the importance of like the creation of it.
Things. Well, but look at the style of things. No, to what you just said. Look at the style of things that are catching on.
Right.
It's more off the cuff. It's more personal.
Right. It's stuff that could be created. Look at this podcast. A perfect example. Like, this is just for fun. I mean, hopefully for money too, but mostly for fun. But the point is, we are creating a piece of entertainment that doesn't take long to produce, that we can put out there relatively fastly. You don't need exactly all the things you're saying. There's more of an immediacy. So that's why I have so much fucking more of it. I didn't think about that. Fuck.
People get to say, "Oh, I was right there when that episode was released."
Right.
Because we are being more candid and familiar with each other, it can lend that false sense of it's as if the person was there too.
Right.
But what a lot of people forget is they weren't there, so it wasn't a two-way street.
Yeah. That's why that's the weird thing about a podcast is you get people, and I feel the same way. When I feel like I know someone way more, even though I've never fucking met this person. But if I've heard a bunch of their lives, of them talking about themselves, I feel like I know that person, but I've never met the person. So there's that.
Are we both thinking about Mark Maron right now?
I mean, partially, of course. Are you kidding me? But yeah, you get what I'm saying. We have all these broken relationships because we're filling holes, baby. Oh, boy. Sorry.
I mean, overall, the internet is a great force. I wonder what all of this would look like.
Oh, yeah.
Without it, you'd probably have more uprisings and worker rights.
Absolutely. Because, okay,
It's a double-edged sword.
It's Brave
both
New
providing
World.
And
it's Brave New fucking World. There is so much on Netflix. I cannot keep up. And that's just Netflix. That's just 10... I mean, it sounds like an advertisement for Netflix, but my whole point is there's so much fucking entertainment out there that is actually good because we're churning so much of it by just the definition of how much is out there. There's a lot of good shit out there.
Well, and think about what I just said. There's a lot of good shit out there. You can't see it all. You're not supposed to.
No, you're not supposed to. And that's why there's less uprisings. There's a lot of good shit out there. I could do uprise,
I was
but
gonna
man,
form a union, but there's a new season of Game of Thrones, man.
Yeah. It's fucking VR, and this new game is fucking awesome. I mean, it's kind of scary now, because I'm in the entertainment industry. I have
a dangerous question to ask.
That's what we're doing right now, right? That's kind of fucking frightening. Yeah, go ahead.
So the dangerous question is, with regards to what we've seen a lot of this Me Too movement,
okay,
it basically has only really hit Hollywood.
Oh.
It goddamn happens everywhere else. We elected a fucking known harasser and abuser. No fallout whatsoever. Is this a consequence of what we're describing? Because of media's social importance, that's the only place we get to express that level of outrage?
Kinda, yeah. No, you're right. You're right. This kind of thing, what we're talking about right now, is becoming more and more common. I don't know. I mean,
Like, we're holding actors and movie makers to a higher standard than people that, in theory, have the more important jobs.
right.
But if you look at where the crowds focus its energy and where it takes its actions,
Right. Sorry.
entertainment's at the top of the list.
Absolutely. It's kind of fucked up.
Talk about a misplacement of values.
Whoops.
But I guess I kind of understand. If I were to look at it from the emotional standpoint, it's not just this entertainment industry. It's these things people are using as, these fills and as surrogate relationships.
Right.
So they do have an emotional vested interest when something they like or that gives them such great comfort is tied to something awful. Damn right they're going to get upset.
Yeah.
They get to get upset enough to a point where they feel part of a movement and feel like they have control when consequences happen.
God, I wanted to...
I think it's a gut reaction out of the lack of consequences from obviously illegal stuff we've seen happen in this country.
Right, yeah.
People don't get prosecuted.
Right, because we're so pacified. Do you think entertainment is like a pacifier? Does it act like that because people aren't as invested as they should be in certain things? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Like, if a terrible thing happened where we should be revolting in the streets, we're kind of not, because, well, iPhones are kind of cool, and I have a lot of cool stuff that I didn't have before for relatively cheap if you know where to get it. So
people keep telling me, like, everything's, there's going to be this big upheaval, this big uprising.
Upheaval, right.
Until
I think we're way too entertained.
You're starting to...
Am I crazy?
Entertainment is there to mask until other symptoms get worse. And it's not just entertainment. Even if you removed entertainment, I mean, we would still recreate it anyway. If you removed electronic entertainment, all the other stuff would still be there.
Fuck. That's why it has to start at entertainment, so that it goes outward more. I guess that's the only fucking hope. I don't know. At least, no, sorry.
Hang on, I'm gonna get it again. Shit.
What happened?
It's gone.
What, you forget something? Did I fuck you up? I'm sorry.
Yeah, where is it going?
I don't know. It's all gone now. It's all gone. Everything's gone.
Oh, well.
I was just saying how entertainment is the root of all evil, but also the source of hope. Blarg. I don't know. But we've always been doing this with stories.
There's a difference between entertainment and expression of art.
Yeah.
There's plenty of things that are void of art that are entertaining. Yeah. Watching someone you don't like get hit in the nuts might not be art, but god damn is that entertaining.
Oh, my balls.
There you go. You caught on.
That's right, baby. Baby. Oh, shit.
Oh, that's where I was going. Remove entertainment out of the equation. What do you still have? Our poor, our poverty-stricken,
up until
a medical issue happens, still gets more reliable calories in a day than third world countries. How the humans have evolved to be conditioned and what physically... it's not great, but we're surviving. Mentally and psychologically, we're seeing interesting expressions of all of that. But, people say, like, why aren't more people in the streets? Because, we know existence could be better, but what they got ain't altogether bad. They live past 30, man.
Right.
Biologically, for most of our species, once you got to 30, you didn't have much left.
It's true. I want to get back to the grind, because that's related to this, is that... you're at to... God damn it, fuck. I gotta get less high on beer. Jesus Christ. Fuck.
Were you gonna say...
Basically, I was saying...
Evolutionarily, being stuck in a car and doing that commute and sitting in a soulless desk job is something that our brains are not prepared to deal with?
Oh, that too. But you're mentioning the poor and the destitute, right? How can we accept this? Well... The very nature of having to do what we do with the 40-hour work week and how much we're expected to produce, we are more accepting of the idea that those who are have less deserve to be where they are. The system itself perpetuates that idea, I think. Don't you think?
It does, and it places this. Oh God, this is gonna piss off the personal responsibility people.
Of course.
Fuck them. It rewards when you break out, kind of in a almost backhanded way, in that if you're one of the few that does manage to get into those upper ranks, get more money, get in those different jobs, you're looked at and rewarded as like, oh, you broke free of them,
right.
Not you made better for yourself. I don't know. I feel like that tone is there. Like no one will really. I don't know. I've heard that said in person before.
I just want to clarify. We're just bullshitting here. We don't think we're smart. It's just fun
Jesus,
to pretend.
No.
It's just fun.
I like pretend game.
Yeah, I like to pretend that I like to maybe think about things sometimes. It's fun to bullshit like that. I don't care what anyone says. Actually, I was saying to Miko earlier, I hope, like, my grandmother's funeral was super... No. The last party where we were all there and we knew she was going to die soon, it was all very small talk. Right, it was like about the weather or the Bears or something. There was no like existential talk or like any big questions going on. That's what I want going on if I know I'm gonna fucking croak.
I mean, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm right here. Sorry.
Oh, you just cut out. I mean, I'd rather have them earlier and sooner because it's interesting and scary as balls.
You like to have what?
People ask like, what's our meaning? Why are we here? Not to participate in the grind.
Yeah, fuck the grind.
That's my existential realization.
Can we
millions
even
of people do it and it's wrong?
Can we get back to? Well, I know other countries do it better, obviously. Can we reach a point of Star Trek Next Generation?
I think if you remove all of the social and cultural implications of it, I think we have the ability and means to do it right now. Really? We have the tech, we have the resources. Not how actually Star Trek Next Gen is. It would be far more... Star Trek Next Gen, is, as far as talking about societies, is described as a post-scarcity society.
Right. Scarcity is always a problem.
We do not have that, which is part of why you have various interesting conflicts. But I think we have the ability, if every world leader was able to say, I don't give a shit about money, I give a shit about climate change. Right. You would see things happen drastically. And it wouldn't hurt capitalism. They just change the incentives and the companies would change how they operate to make the most money while also fitting to the thing that doesn't penalize them as much.
Yep. It's pretty crazy how that is the main driving factor.
I hate it. I hate its existence. But we can still work with it today.
Sure.
It just... People have to pass laws and do it. All this buzz about universal basic income. That's kind of it.
It's a great stepping stone.
Universal basic income and reduced working hours for these easier jobs, especially as, robots are legitimately taking over more and more and more. Yeah. The general worker becomes less necessary, if not irrelevant. Yeah. That is Star Trek. Everything from that point on is done in the name of personal fulfillment. Yeah. The only things that really change and what would perhaps...
Work would never end because people are still going to want more. So there's always going to be those ones who will work to get some more stuff. I mean, that's just human nature.
Here, you want to know what my realization of why I hate the grind was? Just doing this commute every day, doing what I do every day. And it was a Star Trek thing. It was the high sci-fi thing of there is so much to be explored in this world. No matter what you believe, if afterlife or not. But in this one,
Right.
We've barely scratched the surface.
Yeah, and you're pinned to that experience.
Why am I working on something that generates ad revenue?
Right. And
it fundamentally, as a species that can develop the ability to think about thinking, like, it bothers me that this is as far as we've gotten.
Think about how much of your life is pinned down to one activity, as far as like the familiarity of you just mentioned all the things you can experience in the world that you'll never be able to do all the fucking things. But a majority of your life just to sustain yourself is a good 40% of one thing. I mean, I don't know. It takes up a big fucking chunk of your life, though.
Honestly, if money fell into my lap, if money fell into my lap, I probably, except for small personal things, would cease to code. Legitimately, the thing I've been doing
do it
all
to
along,
sustain
the thing
yourself.
I'm going to continue to do. And I do like it, but I've done it.
That's not where your passions lie, and we were kind of talking about this earlier. It sometimes takes a lot of time to find what you actually like. It's kind of crazy.
I mean, for me, furry has been the biggest breakout. It makes me want to try a lot of things.
Right. Yeah, so, yeah, there's that. I mean, obviously, there would be a lot more podcasts.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Absolutely. Are you kidding me? We're already kind of in that world already.
If you have Star Trek, though, my firm belief is as people do furry more, and as people do
self-sustaining economy kind of things
in it.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things you're going to notice is you're going to notice more premeditated material.
My God, do you think we could get to a furry town? Do you think we can get to that level?
I mean, isn't this the cult we've been talking about?
Kind of is.
We're gonna have.
We just move in for like a weekend. That's the plan we're on right now. We're trying to like
pick a place with squatting laws, and then we just don't leave.
There you go. We're a fucking high-rise. Oh my God.
Ugh.
Don't get any ideas, guys. It sounds like a bad idea. Oh shit. Yeah, but we'll see. It would be nice for society to get away from this shit. I don't know if it's gonna happen in our lifetimes.
I sure hope so. I mean, at the very least, part of the other thing, at least for me, is being a coder gives a lot more financial stability than, say, art jobs.
Right. Absolutely.
So part of me puts up with a lot of it because I know this capitalism. I know Star Trek isn't happening in a month. I know it's not happening in a year. I know it's not happening in 5 years. Mm-hmm. I am in this place where I need this shitty thing called money. And I got a pretty slick means of going to get it. I've taken a couple excursions to figure some shit out. Uh-huh. And I know I'm immensely lucky for even having the ability to do it.
Yeah. Like, how many people do you know can really say they really like their job?
I mean, no one.
Think of how rare that is. Think of how rare that is. Even for people, you and me, we apparently won, right?
Yeah.
We did the thing that was supposed to be not, like, I mean, I hate to fucking blow up what we did, but you and I have similar paths, and, like, at least I have had a career in the art industry. The video game industry doing this thing, and everyone says it's super hard to get into. But I did it, and it ended up not being all it was cracked up to be. In fact, yeah, exactly. We're just like, oh, this is it?
If I was able to set aside all of my delusions of grandeur,
sure,
I would have risen higher in ranks by now. I wouldn't have taken those excursions into contracting, which
gotcha.
was cool to support yourself. I learned a little bit what furry artists that support themselves go through, and holy shit, it's scary. Congrats, you guys. Part of why I have a full-time job again is, not for me.
No, I get you.
Not in that capacity.
Yeah, you have to deal with some nasty shit.
The hard part of being at this job ultimately is, and especially while having the longest commute, is I really did, it wasn't financial freedom, but everything else was free. Even if I was stressed out, I still legitimately was in control of whatever I wanted to do.
Yeah.
The only places I had to be was if I said I'd be somewhere. There was... The only obligations were these financial ones, and it sucked. But the only obligations I had were the convention stuff that I wanted to do.
Right. And think about like the economy of like free time that you have, just for the ways that everything's structured right now. We probably have less free time.
I have to pick what I'm guaranteed going to do. Then I pick what I think I'm generally still going to be able to do. And then there's tiers 3 and 4, which almost never happen every day.
Right.
Every fucking day. Sometimes that number one thing doesn't even happen.
Yeah.
I'd say with this job, with this long commute, it's the most amount where I have legitimately lost track of days.
Is that just because it's so much the same?
Not even that it's so much the same, it's that, to me, nothing of consequence is happening.
Oh, fuck. I hear what you're saying. Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm someone who previously had just said, like, me 3 to 5 years ago feels like a different person.
Right.
And now I'm not tracking change as much anymore.
I see what you're saying.
So that fear of, am I stuck in this now? Is this what I do now?
Right. It's possible.
Have I really given up?
Kinda. Like, but basically, I have come to peace with the fact that this isn't my ideal, that this might be as good as it gets. So I might as well dress up the prison cell with pretty flowers and paint the walls. It's still a prison cell. It's not ideal, but you know what? I'm going to try to make it as good as I can.
Yeah. Well,
that's kind of been my attitude lately.
I'm in a similar spot. Maybe not as pragmatic as yours. Mine is my poor attitudes, even if I felt I was right, have landed me in poor job situations in the past. Let's see what happens if I choose not to do that here.
Huh, okay.
So I have like this detached observer thing, and I'm starting to lose track because things aren't interesting.
That's crazy. Just in general, just things have gotten less interesting to you?
No, this job. Well,
the job.
That's a different topic. In general, I can't think of things. For a long time, I felt like everything I thought I liked, I didn't. But
right.
The past couple of cons, the stage stuff has gone well, and I felt happy about it.
Right.
All right.
So here's my question to you, and I'm sure I know the answer to this. The things that you currently right now think you are passionate about, do you see yourself continuing to be? Based on what you've learned about yourself. There's always that factor that people forget.
A bunch of stuff is definitely changing.
Okay.
I'm aware of some. Continuing to do... I thought there was a period, maybe about, especially 6 months ago.
Uh-huh.
There was a period where I thought, maybe I'm done doing this stage stuff.
Yeah.
Not because I felt I was bad at it, and not that I felt I'm any good at it.
I get you.
But it was kind of the feeling of, I could just get on stage. I could just go do it. And I didn't... It's not that I didn't care. I cared about doing a good job. I just didn't feel any emotional attachment to whether I did poorly or not.
I get you.
Whereas, honest to goodness, being terrified going into the Pandez roast, shaking as hard as I did on stage, that kind of was the shock paddles.
Right.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, no.
So I have a renewed interest in it, and I
Right.
want to try different things. I think I got comfortable. Like I could just get on stage and MC. I could tell a quick little silly story.
I get you.
Maybe
I
some
get
people
you.
will chuckle.
And that's something you didn't know you had.
No, I didn't realize I was just behaving I had reached a level of proficiency.
You know what's something I didn't know I had? I never thought I was a very social person at all. But it's more so when I get... Fuck. I don't even know how to put it.
I think you are a
I'm just saying, I used to
initial
think I was
vibe
very...
fail fast person.
What's that?
You're an initial vibe fail fast person.
Yeah.
So like if things socially turn like miss a beat or fall out of rhythm, for you they get awkward really, really, really quick.
That's fair.
If things start out and go well, you just go with the flow and it goes great.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird.
That's kind of what I observe of you, at least.
All right.
I don't know, dude. If we were to talk about some of our behind closed doors pasts,
Oh boy.
you had quite the ability to.
Oh boy. I look at
Get
my
what you
past
wanted.
and I'm fucking like, God damn, that stupid fucking 20-year-old Xander. What the fuck are you thinking?
Stop thinking with your dick.
Oh yeah. When you first discovered sex, you were a fucking idiot. You know what I'm saying.
How many times were we both present for each other's idiocy?
Why could I not, as an adult, as a legal adult, I could not figure out my emotions were being steered by my dick. I mean, don't get me wrong. The worst part about that is we both had I think we're both referring to, we both had our first major relationships later on, right?
Yes.
And I'm not just talking about my dick. I'm also talking about all the shit that goes with it. As in being emotionally tied to someone, you go through all the
everyone else
freshman
figures
bullshit
out from the ages 14 through 22.
Yeah.
We didn't start until 22.
Exactly. So
like, yeah, I'm 6 years behind. I'm at the experience level of a 26-year-old.
I wonder if that whole I wonder how much of that closeted nature is still existent. At least for like people like us, I don't know.
I think it's certainly gone down a shit ton.
Oh, I'm sure it's gone
on
down
the
a
area
shit
you live
ton.
in. But it's still there.
I mean, yeah.
There's also internet and everything being out and about, and
fuck. Yeah, I don't know.
like it's very easy to quickly go to the internet and reach out. The internet was important for me in figuring a lot of that stuff out.
Sure.
Having someone to talk to about it.
Oh, that's a good point.
But the types of groups and cultures and things out there, it was all still largely tech nerd people when I got started.
No, you're right. The internet has had a huge impact in less people being closeted. I mean, I remember when I first started going and looking for the whole straight acting, I saw that so often. Like, oh, I'm straight acting. 50%. Like 50 to 60% of like gays online like would put straight acting in their fucking profile.
Yep.
And then it took a while for everyone to realize that not all gays are the ones you see on TV.
Yeah.
That's the only gays they've ever met other than themselves. So that's why they put straight acting in their profile. Which is fucking crazy. And that's there. Thanks, internet.
I feel like in part it's awkward having to participate. I wonder if part of at least my frustration, and maybe this is something for you as well, this daily routine, this grind stuff is also made more difficult because in these other aspects of our lives, we are behind and we are surrounded by people that are like spitting out kids left and right and have families. It's so
that's
foreign
even worse.
to us.
Like, I can barely handle my own life. Like, okay, seriously, you have this crazy commute, right? Mine is 2 hours on average. Well, hold on. I have a weird commute because I have Netflix. So I can go on the bus, watch Netflix, go on the train, watch Netflix, and walk for 15 minutes. You know what? That's not that bad.
No, it's not. You get to catch, like, it. What I found interesting in that I have done more of certain things since getting the job than when I was on my own, in that it forces certain sets of time that can only be used in certain ways.
Exactly.
I'm appreciating the schedule. So, like, I'm driving in a car. I'm in a car for an hour. I had not listened to a lot of music since getting out of an office environment.
Right. So you're kind of using that as your the little freedom you have. You're using. Yeah. You're trying to use that as much as you can. Fuck. Sorry.
Jaded.
A little bit. No, I'm the same way though. Like, I want to, like, the little things in my life. Like, I'm trying to enjoy as much my work time. Like, I'm trying to find the best podcasts to listen to as I'm working and stuff like that. And it's funny. It's like trying to dress up the prison, as I was saying.
Yeah, I'm still in the mode of I'm very aware of my tendencies to throw fuel on the fire of a bad situation.
Okay.
And I'm making really, really strong efforts to not do that at this job.
Right.
And I just don't have time to do those other things. It's very hard for me to listen to anything, be it a podcast or music or have a video play.
Right.
It's hard for me to carry on a discussion even when there's not much to do in the day. Like, part of the stress of the job is I'm so paranoid of old bad habits of mine kicking in. I have no choice but to really just focus on this boring fucking set of tasks and just knock every last one of them out of the park.
Yeah.
And it's draining. It is draining. I get home and they're simple tasks compared to the shit. Compared to Mercantile Exchange and doing math models for slot machines, this shit's all a cakewalk. And I come home drained every day.
And don't you find it, and it's just, this is going to sound like we're still up on our own asses, but it's totally fucking true. No, listen to me. When you reach that flow state, you know what you're doing? You're completely forgetting everything that, like, you're trying to forget about the result of your work. You're just so focused in doing the work, you forget about what you're doing.
I wouldn't say I forget about what I'm doing.
Like you forget about what the result's going to be ultimately.
You don't mean flow. You mean just going on autopilot.
Going what?
You mean going on autopilot.
Kind of. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Maybe that's true.
Flow for me, like, flow is when I am in the zone. There is nothing else in the world other than this crazy, cool, complex problem I'm working on.
Okay.
And in 3 hours, I am going to have all of it, if not a majority of it, solved. Like, when someone says flow, that's what that is for me. It's one of the most cool and rewarding things you can do.
So that's when you're too super into what you're doing.
Yes. You don't even have to like it, but you can just get in the zone of working on something, and
I get what
you're not second guessing yourself. You're
I still don't know if it's different than autopilot. I think it just sounds better.
I mean, autopilot is kind of what you described, where you're doing the thing, but you don't give a shit.
Yeah,
I give a shit when I'm in the zone. I'm just not responding to things.
No, you're right. No, okay, you win. There is autopilot.
Yay! What do I win?
Fuck.
Do I get an internet?
No, you're right. There is an absolute difference. Fuck. That hurts.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a great conclusion. Oh, boy. All right, well, let's just close it now. All right, everybody. That's all for now. I'm Xander.
Thank fuck. I'm Draggor.
All right, bye.